Big snow coming today, tomorrow, sometime in that time frame. We got a lot of prep work to do. I want to tell you how our cab storage has worked. Maybe review that just a little bit with you. We'll quickly put the cab on. We won't bore you with all that. We've shown you that in the past. I've got several repairs or fixes to do to some snow equipment. We'll do all of that in this episode, hopefully before we're this deep in snow. Let's get started. The cab has stayed here peacefully all season. Really hasn't been a problem. I can get under it. We've actually had some of these roller scaffolds under it with storage, so it's just been up and out of the way. It's worked really well. I guess the big news is it hasn't fallen down. Pretty easy actually to clean out under here. We had everything on rollers. I think we're finally beginning to get organized. Let's get Johnny under there. We've chosen to put it on the new Johnny. I don't think there's really any differences, but we will have a couple of challenges. I have the Summit hydraulics rear and front third function kit. So there's a big block back there as well as this. We'll probably have to do something to get that to fit. I guess it's time to lower it down, Christy.
This is a kayak hoist. We have it on our Amazon store in case you would like to get one for yourself. Amazon.com/shop/tractortimewithtim. It took us a minute to remember how to operate it. It has a brake built in. You pull down on one of the ropes to release the brake, and then you let loose of the other rope a little bit to allow it to go down. It takes two people, but it's pretty easy to get the cab lowered with this approach. We decided to take the front and rear vinyl off to make it easier to install. However, we left the doors on to keep it rigid. Cabs for these little tractors have pluses and minuses. They keep you warm in the winter, that's for sure, but they're loud and they're a bit cumbersome. They make it hard to get on and off the tractor, and they reduce your visibility. Oh yeah, and without air conditioning, they're hot in the summertime. So for us, the original cab is a great compromise. We put it on only in the winter for moving snow, and then we take it off and hang it up there from the ceiling in the spring so that it's not in our way all summer. And believe it or not, it's quite warm in the winter. We really don't even need a heater in there. We think it's a cost-effective and practical solution. You can get yours at originalcab.com. Use code TTWT for a 5% discount. We've learned to take our time when it comes to actually getting the final fit. Having a little bit of patience to get those brackets fed into where they belong really makes it a lot easier. It's no use getting frustrated, it only makes it worse.
Last year when we were plowing, we lost these feet, one off of each of these blades. We had these spring keys in, and somehow the snow was knocking those out. So we're trying a little different approach. Christy's been working on this. I found a lot of the washers in the spring.
Yep.
But not enough of them. So thanks to our bolt kit.
I have lots more.
Yep, we have lots more. So these feet are used to try to hold it up a little bit off the ground. Oh, I'm gonna have to pick this up.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to use these cotter keys so that we can get them to stay for sure. Don't have to worry about them coming out. Seems no matter how many supplies you have, you never have just the right size of anything. So I think those are 5 30-second cotter keys.
Yeah, we could use a little bit bigger.
Yep, need just the next size up.
But the other ones that we have are too big.
So that's the way it goes. But I don't think that will come out on its own. It's a heavy blade here.
Oh, one of my things went underneath the pallet.
I think I thought I could reach it. It's right there on the edge. Your hand will fit right down in there.
Yeah.
With small hands, she can make things look easy that I cannot even do.
Okay.
Now the easiest way, we only want to bend one of those typically, and is to turn it upward. Just bend it up like that.
Okay.
And the reason we only bend one of them is because if we want to take it out, you gotta
Okay.
have it perfectly straight. Now, truth is, in the snow here, the other one will probably get bent anyway.
I imagine, yeah.
Yeah, that truly was a 5-minute job. Well, maybe 15,
Well, after I had to find different parts, yeah.
but it wasn't too bad. We're beginning to see flakes now, so
Yep.
I think we're still on schedule.
I have to use the cat ladder to look out the window.
I want to review and remind you a little bit about what I do for lights. I use these bullet connectors. They're .176 size. You can buy them pretty well anywhere, on Amazon, wherever. I'll put a link to them here in the description and on my Amazon store. The lighting on the Deere tractors has these matching bullet connectors, 0.176, that run up to these lights up here. Even if you don't have these lights, you have the connectors and they're plugged. So what I've done, since I do have the lights, is I've created a little splitter here, you might say. So I unplug the existing bullet connectors and I put this in the middle, right? Here's the male, here's the female. I put them right in the middle and I give myself an offshoot, okay, that then I run to the lights on the cab. Now typically you would do this for power and ground, but the cab didn't come with any wiring for the ground side. So I guess it's assuming that it's grounded, and it has worked for me. So I wanted to show you how that worked, because this allows me to use the same light switch. So the wires on the cab are wired to the very same switch that the rest of the tractor lights use. I think this is a good way to handle LED lights for, say, a bar light across the top or rear lights, whatever you put on. I just think it's a good way to go. Keep them right there on the same switch. You don't have any more wiring to do. You don't have any more modifications to make on the dash or the fender or wherever you try to put switches. And so this is the way I would recommend for wiring additional lights. And then the other bullet, I'll see if I can get it to stick out. There it is.
It might be blurry.
I'm afraid it might be. And then I put the same bullet connectors on the end of the wiring harness here. And I left the fuse in so that we still have fuse protection. So that's the light. The other piece is the windshield wiper. And for that, I don't want it switched from the tractor because there's a switch in the cab to turn on the wiper. Over the years, I've had a lot of need for wiring right back here at this edge of the tractor. Some attachments I've had have needed this wiring and have needed a pretty large amperage. So I've run dedicated wire one time back to the back of the tractor, and then I've used a set of splitter cables with these SAE connectors today. I've changed around a few times on the types of connectors, but these are the types that I'm using on this tractor, at least today. And I found a splitter here that has 4 of these. They've got nice caps. Okay, so when you're not in use, you can cover those. I've got a 4-way splitter here, and I'm using 3 of them now. A couple of them for Summit Hydraulics, this front and rear solution, as well as one of them here for the windshield wiper on the cab. So that's how I do my wiring, and I try to make it so that I can plug and unplug when I remove the cab or if I wanted to remove the Summit kit. Next step for us is to see if we have to remove it. I hope we don't have to, but I'm hoping we can figure out how to get the vinyl on here around a lot of these pieces. I did have to remove the switch panel up here to get the cab on, but then once we got the cab on, I was able to put the switch panel back in. So it's positioned in a fine location. Yeah, we got the vinyl back on without essentially any problem with the Summit system. Both the valve over here as well as the return, and this was already split and there's Velcro. So we just went right around it and it really worked perfectly. So it's actually, it looks like a factory fit. Summit-hydraulics.com/TTWT. This is the one with the 3rd function. It's FRX, no, FR2, 3, or 4, JD1. You can get it with rear only, which is EVK JD1, I think. This is a great solution to a difficult problem. Front and rear hydraulics connects to the Power Beyond. Well, I'm going to put the loader on now and then see if we can get that front blade on it. So that shouldn't take very long. Well, I did find one challenge. I use the single point connector on the loader, and I always do that right from the seat. Now that I have the cab vinyl, I won't be able to do that from the seat. It's not really a big deal, but it's just kind of funny.
It would be outside on a cab tractor anyway, right?
Yeah, it would be outside on a cab tractor, so you wouldn't be able to do it from the seat, right?
Ever. Hey, that's one more point for no cab.
Well, really, the single point connector is what allows you to do it without leaving the seat. You can kick these brackets up, of course, but you also have to disconnect the hydraulics. Now, I still have the third function here that I have to hook up both couplers just the old-fashioned way. I've had a lot of questions about a 6-port single point connection. Yeah, I'm working on it. I think I'm going to get it, but it may be a little while before it happens. This blade works on the Artillian frame, so I have to remove my forks. These are these nice lightweight 36-inch forks. And then once I get the forks removed, I can put that plate right there, right on this frame. Okay, can you hold that there for just a moment? Now I have to get it hooked on the bottom. It looks like it's under the bottom, at least there. And there. And that, I just pick it up. Just that easy, right? Can you tilt it down just a little bit? That's good. There we go.
Folks, if you enjoy our videos, please press that like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't taken the time. Ring that little bell so you get notifications of new videos. We really appreciate your support.
That's the first time I've tried to use that front third function. Okay, well, I got to get this other blade on the gator, and I've got to make sure that Vinny and his blade's ready to go. You know, the only problem is we're going to have at least 3 blades. Only 2 of us, Christy.
Yeah, maybe we can find neighbor Chris.
Yeah, maybe we can find some help. Hopefully we can, this would be nice to show off all these things. And we're supposed to have, they're right now predicting 12 to 18. So we might get to use them several times. Let's hope. Stay tuned, guys. We'll show you snow in an upcoming episode soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
God's voice thunders in marvelous ways. He does great things beyond our understanding. He says to the snow, "Fall on the earth," and to the rain shower, "Be a mighty downpour." So that everyone he has made may know his work, he stops all people from their labor. Really enjoyed meeting those of you that made the trip to Messick's. Thank you very much for making the effort. Looking forward to meeting you at the National Farm Machinery Show, Louisville, Kentucky, February 16th and 19th, 11 a.m. each day at the Deere booth. Oh yeah, and join us for cheeseburgers at W.W. Cousins, St. Matthews locations, February 16th, 6:30 p.m.